It's just not a fit, and
it's just not a
nothing
fit.
personal. And that's the thing, that I really wish, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
It's something that I really wish people would, I think this could help a lot of people grow their businesses.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in humans in business. I don't believe in emotion in business.
Right.
And there is a big difference in between the two. To take your euphemism, I believe in being a giraffe in business.
Right.
But I don't believe in making a big deal about it. I think the second you start making other people wrong, you make yourself wrong.
That's right.
You just got to understand that's a turtle.
And
I'm a giraffe. This is what's happening.
Right, and their perspective is
absolutely. It's
no less than yours.
Right.
It's just not your point of view or your cup of tea.
You're just not my. It's like when you go through the radio station, you flip through. Some music speaks to you, some music doesn't.
Right.
But that doesn't make that music without value. That doesn't make that music wrong.
Right.
That doesn't make that music any number of things you want to add as descriptors. So that's what I mean. Where it's just people take business too personally.
They do.
And that will keep them small because it's not about you. It's never about you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% agree, because if it were about you, then you would be your only customer.
Absolutely. And you wouldn't have a business.
You wouldn't have a business.
Absolutely. Well, a friend of mine always likes to say, it takes one person to be a human. It takes two or more to be a human being.
Right.
To be in an active society instead of some weird Robinson Crusoe thing. We were literally made to interface. We were made to work as a tribe. We were made to work together. We were all made to support and make each other greater. And I firmly believe that, we've gone against our nature.
And to that note, it does take a team. So don't think you're out here by yourself and that you have to be good at all things. I have 3 examples sitting here and more sitting behind me that you don't see, of people who are individuals who are successful in their own right, but they all do different things. Mm-hmm. And all of these things complement each other. So you don't have to be, a one-man island. You can be your passion for what you do and let others help you and support you. And so, Claudia, give us your contact information again so they know where they can reach you at for that virtual assistant that we all need.
ClaudiaCastro.com. And I'll give my phone number out. It's 310-265-3697. I don't do good with texts. If I don't know you, I won't respond. But a message or just when I pick up that's fine too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not a text girl. You are a phone or website girl.
I'm a text with people I know.
Okay.
But I don't respond if I don't know you.
Okay. So call Claudia or go
I don't
to
know.
Claudia.
I'm weird. Again, I'm weird like that.
Or go to your website.
Yeah, ClaudiaCastro.com.
ClaudiaCastro.com.
Mm-hmm.
And Ian, how can we find those beautiful websites that you do?
Absolutely. Go to the website, www.ivcpro.com. That's V as in Victor, so ivcpro.com. Phone number is 888-448-2776, extension 701, or via email. My email is chestnut, that's CHESTNUT, at ivcpro.com.
Perfect. And Miss Jennifer?
Yes, I'm pretty simple. If you want to get hold of me quickly, text me. If you want it to take a minute, call me, because it takes me a while to actually get to my voicemails. Again, I'll be honest about my quirks.
Right.
We are in full
and see, we're all different.
Absolutely. And not judging, again, on what form of communication works
That's
for you.
right.
If it works for you, who cares? I just call it following your heart. You see that dog out there by itself chasing an invisible ball. It's just following its heart. Look at how happy that dog is.
Right.
So, again, my phone number is area code 310-561-6561.
Great. Okay, so we're rounding down to the end of this conversation, but I'm certainly enjoying it. If you had one piece of advice you'd like to give our lovely listeners out there, Jennifer, what would that advice be?
By being you become. A lot of times when people are trying to change, they get stuck on the operational. When they don't get it's just commitment. I committed, to facilitating change in my life, and the commitment facilitated the change. So even though sometimes it may not be authentic to put out your hand and say you're a business owner, you got to put that hand out there and say you're a business owner. It's chicken egg.
Right.
You by being, you become. So whatever that thing is that you're being, that's what you'll become.
I like that. Ian?
I would say to take every experience as a learning experience. I think over the years, I think we probably all have gotten frustrated that you're not where you think you should be. You're not where you hope you should be.
Right.
And so what I've learned is that I wasn't ready. I think at the end of the day, if I were to look back 13 years and say, hey, if I was given the same opportunities that I'm getting today 13 years ago,
Right.
I would have
You
crashed and
would've
burned.
crashed and burned.
And so, but each experience from, 13 years ago to 14 years ago and up until today has prepared me to be able to walk into a meeting or a contract negotiation to say, hey, this is what we bring to the table, and this is what we can do for you, and actually be able to do it.
With confidence.
With confidence. And so again, those experiences, some were positive, some were negative. Some we succeeded in, some we failed. But each one was a learning experience that you can take on to the next project that may not come for another 5 years. But when that next project hits, you've gone through that test, you know what to do, you know what not to do, and you're able to actually take it on. So take each experience as a learning experience.
Great. And
That's
Claudia,
great.
what would you say?
I would say reach out, call us, talk to people that you admire, that you want to learn about them, take them out for a cup of coffee, network, be involved, be out there. Because you don't know by doing that, actually the act of doing that, someone may be looking for you. You know,
Yes.
you will come across an opportunity. I mean, I knew a guy who I think started working for this big company, and I was like, wow, how did you do that? And it actually happened with me too. I kept calling, and then I was able to get into the Orange County Register and working in their advertising department. That took me 6 months. And as a matter of fact, when I called them, they called me. And I said, hey, you're calling me. She says, well, that position came up. This was years ago. I said, great, it's mine. Well, you got to, do the process. I've had people say, just by looking for a job, they just ask people, do you know
Right.
of anyone who's hired? Do you know? And one guy landed in this other big company. And so, not that, this was way back when, but just say, hey, can I buy you a cup of coffee? Can we talk? Can I just pick your brain? Doing that is going to help you find who you are and find that right opportunity.
And the networking, I think that's a big deal. And because that's how I found Ian. Networking, I went to a networking event, met his team, and through his team wanted to know who was the head of this awesome team.
Yeah.
Because, it rolls downhill. Like, you meet sometimes your employees are a reflection of you. So in getting to know them, I knew he had to be awesome.
Yeah.
Because they were so awesome.
Right.
And it was networking. And the same with Jennifer and I, the way we met. And we met networking.
Yeah.
So networking is what it's about. Jennifer, speak to networking a little bit, because I know you're a firm believer.
Yeah, I am. Well, it circles back, me, all roads lead to branding. If you wanted to look at your networking, think about it as brand alignment. Like, you look at these power partnerships in between different ideas and companies, think about that. So if we're talking about building the personal brand, think about who you and the sort of places you go. For example, I've gotten all my jobs by going out. I hate to say it, but I have. I got my last job by going to a movie premiere, and I only did it because it was within walking distance of my house. So, too, being very careful about where you invest your time
That's
in
right.
networking.
Yes.
Make sure it's a fit, because I know that that's my crowd. I have an art background. All of my friends, videographers, photographers, it seems like all of my friends, that's the world I want to work in. So when I go to network, I go to places I want to spend time in. You will probably not catch me in many conventions. I have a hard time sitting still for long periods of time. However, if you're, doing an art show or something fun like that, count me in. So when you are building your network, because that will be a vital asset to you moving forward, make sure when you're building it, you're doing it in things and people and places that you are in alignment with. Not where you think you're supposed to be, but where you want to be.
That's excellent.
Yes, that is excellent. Ian, what would you say to networking?
Love it. I have gotten into it. I think initially I didn't do networking because I was so swamped. We were getting projects left and right, and it wasn't until I realized that I had to restructure my team and put a better team around me so that I could go out and really do some of the stuff that I love, which is networking, meeting new people, talking to small businesses, letting them know that they don't have to be stuck in that same rut of, this is old and I'm tired. And so in addition to me also send out Danica. Danica loves to network. She's a talker.
Yes, Danica's good.
Yeah, she is good. She is good. And so she goes out and she probably does at least 6 to 7 networking events per month, where she goes out and just meets new companies and new individuals. And so she loves it. So that's my saving grace, absolutely.
Right, and that speaks to you as a business owner, cultivating the people around you and seeing what their strong points are, and just letting them fly.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's great. What do you think?
I think that the
Networking.
most successful people have the biggest network. If you are the go-to person, you are not only well connected, but you are able to connect the dots and to create a real good synergistic business. And a book I read, it was actually by Donald Trump, and it was a book on just his schedule throughout a whole week. And he was always on the phone calling people. So what I do as a habit, just knowing that, is I'm constantly responding to people on my social media. When they send me a message, I want to make sure I send them a message right back.
Right.
Calling, I've got to call this friend of mine, calling this sister, calling. I'm always and this is one thing that I heard a long time ago too. An old mentor told me, if you're not circulating, you're not percolating. And it's kind of crazy, but
it's
but
true.
it just, that's stuck in my head. If
Right.
I'm not out there circulating myself, talking to people, and it could be, look, I have a big church and I have a lot of friends in church, and I find that the more people that I'm out there, the more I'm out there, the more people are calling me.
That's right.
The more people are reaching out to me. The more, hey, can you get this done? Hey, oh, did you know about this? Oh, did you hear about this? It's like, why? It's like all of a sudden my phone is just like going off.
Ringing
And
off
that's
the
what
hook.
you want.
That's right.
Because that means that your business, whatever you're practicing, whatever you're doing every day, it's going to funnel with contracts. It's going to funnel with more business ideas. It's going to funnel with connecting you to the right people. So it's kind of like a synergy that is so important.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a lot of good information, you guys. You're having lunch with the Finance Bunch, and I have a branding specialist, a website specialist, and an assistant for you, a virtual assistant for you to help you build your business. We have everything at the table pretty much that you need today. So if you're out there and you want to build your own business, please give us your contact information again before we go off the air, Jennifer,
Sure.
for branding.
For branding, area code 310-561-6561.
And Ian,
And
for website.
for website development, you can reach us at www.ibcpro.com or 888-448-2776.
And for the ultimate and virtual assistants,
It's Claudia Castro at ClaudiaCastro.com or Claudia at ClaudiaCastro.com.
you're having lunch with the Finance Bunch. I'm Miss Charlene, and we have had a lesson today.
Yeah.
Thank you to my guests. You guys were wonderful. Please promise me you'll come back on. I enjoyed this. I know the audience will. You've been wonderful. Thank you so much for having lunch with the Finance Bunch. Thank you.
Great,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thanks for having us.